Hello and welcome to this new section on risk management and compliance in this course, AI and operations management. So the purpose of this section is to give you some good idea of how to use AI for risk management and compliance in operations excellence. And there we will begin by talking in this lecture how AI identifies anomalies and fraud patterns in transactions. Risk management and compliance, as you see, involves two main things that we can use AI with. One is in detecting fraud, where AI identifies anomalies and fraud patterns in transactions. Second, where in regulatory compliance, where AI can ensure adherence to industry regulations by continuously monitoring and flagging. So let's take a look at the fraud detection first. So how does AI identify anomalies and fraud patterns in transactions? Any thoughts? See, AI plays a critical role in identifying anomalies and fraud patterns, which are essential for achieving operational excellence. Right. Now, by enhancing security, reducing losses, and maintaining trust. So, these are the ways operation excellence is achieved by identifying anomalies and fraud patterns in transactions. Now, let's start by looking at what is anomaly detection in transaction. Now, anomaly detection refers to identifying unusual patterns, as you see here, in data that deviate from expected behavior, right? So the value is supposed to be within the pattern that you see here, and something goes out of bounds. Now, in transaction, this can often signal fraudulent activities like unauthorized transactions, data entry errors, system glitches, and process inefficiencies. So that is what anomaly detection in transaction is all about. Now, how does AI detect anomalies and fraud? So, right? So, how do you think? How does AI detect anomalies and frauds? It all starts with data collection, right? AI system, first gathers large volume of transactional data that includes things like transaction amounts, timestamps, locations, device and IP data, and user profiles and behavior. And what are the tools it uses? It uses tools like Kafka, Apache Flink, and Amazon Kinesis. So using these tools, AI systems gather this large volume of transactional data. Then it pre-processes the data. It cleans and structures the data by handling missing values, normalizing values, converting timestamps, and one-to-hot encoding for categories like payment types, etc. Right? So that's what it does. Then it does the feature engineering, generates meaningful signals, which in this case of fraud, the meaningful signals could be like average daily spend, frequency of purchases, time between transactions, view device flag, and geolocation distance. Geolocation distance from last purchase. So these are good possible features for you to consider while building your model. Then it uses AI ML model for anomaly detection. And what are the models that it uses? You could use two broad categories, unsupervised learning and supervised learning. The unsupervised learning is models are used to detect unknown frauds, which is what you want, but that's not easy. That requires more advanced level of models. Here, you can use isolation forest, which separates anomalies from regular points. You could also use one class SCM that learns normal behavior and flags deviation. And deep learning models like autoencoders that reconstruct transactions in flag large reconstruction. So that's one set of models. The second set of models is supervised learning, which detect known frauds where you have labeled data. And there you could use random forest, which has high accuracy with fraud history. Then XGBoost, light GPM, which is fast and scalable, and logistic regression for quick baseline. So these are various models that you can use for anomaly detection. Then you do real-time monitoring with AI. You deploy AI models into production to scan each incoming transactions in milliseconds, and you assign a fraud risk score. The AI assigns the fraud risk score. And the tools that are used are like TensorFlow serving, AWS SageMaker, Azure ML, and Apache Kafka. So this is how you do the real-time monitoring with AI. Then you, in the real-time monitoring starts, you have alerting and escalation happening. And how does that happen in the AI system? If the anomaly score exceeds the threshold, so you set a threshold. And if your anomaly score exceeds the threshold, it could do many things. The few things it can do is like flag transaction, give an idea there's something wrong with this transaction, send real-time alert to the affected parties, likely affected party, and as also escalate to fraud team or automatically block the transaction. So these are some possible alerting and escalations possible by AI. Let's take a look at some examples of rules and AI in action. So, if there is a pattern like login from a new country and high value transaction, the action that may be required by the AI is multi-factor authentication. If there are 10 purchases in 5 minutes, you could set AI to temporarily freeze the account. And if there is a large order with mismatched shipping address, you could flag for manual review. So these are some examples of rules plus AI in action. What are the benefits for operational excellence of using this kind of risk management? First, it reduces financial risk from fraud. This fraud detection reduces the financial losses. Second, it builds customer trust that in my transactions that I'm doing, I won't be having these kind of frauds. Then you have automated monitoring 24/7. So you have a lot of peace of mind in this. Then it frees up analyst time for higher value tasks. And lastly, increases compliance with regulation. So these are benefits of fraud detection for operational excellence. So let's take a look at some real life tools and framework. In data sources, you have frameworks like you have sources like Snowflake, BigQuery, and Databricks. Machine learning models, you have scikit-learn, PyCarpet, PyCaret, sorry, H2O AI, and TensorFlow. In anomaly detection frameworks, you have PyOD, Anodot, Elastic, AIOps, and for visualization, we have very familiar Grafana, Kibana, and Power BI. So these are some of the real-life tools and frameworks that you can use for fraud detection. So what is next? So having looked at how AI works in identifying anomalies and fraud patterns in transactions, we will now look at how to implement such a system. And that's what we will do in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on risk management and compliance. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need.